Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be another video about the snowstorm or winter storm or just a huge rainstorm. I mean, you could call it all of those things. Ice storm, it's going to be all of that. Really, this storm is not only hard to predict as it has so many aspects to it, and the models are, yeah, they're agreeing on it, 100% chance of a storm occurring at this point. I would say the snowy side of it is just really, really tricky and really hard to figure out. But as we get near and near to it, we should be getting more and more details. It just doesn't look as if that's going to occur. It looks as if the models are starting to agree slightly more, but not to a certain significant, I guess, manner. So we'll just be talking all about this, and if that sounded confusing, I apologize. The storm is really hard to track. So many sides to it. It's a big, classic winter storm, so that is definitely tricky. Consider subscribing to this channel, guys. Consider liking this video. It really means a lot to me. It really means a lot when you guys support this channel, and I truly enjoy each and every one of you. And also, again, don't just subscribe for no reason. It has to earn your subscription. If you think I'm worthy, please consider doing that. If you think this video is worthy of liking, consider doing that as well. Right now we're looking at the Gfs model. This is kind of the important part of this, actually, this first system, which you may be wondering, why is this important? This is literally going to be bringing absolutely no precip, and it really won't, as that's not mainly the really the main precip, but it's still important as all low pressures spin counterclockwise. And this right here, it will be, I guess, over here several hours prior. And notice that it starts bringing up precip from Gulf of Mexico. This kind of gives, I guess, lift in the atmosphere across these parts of the country. And that really, I guess, is enough to kind of get that precip falling to the earth and really elevates the chance for some rain, as this Gulf of Mexico is just open, and that gateway, it's like a highway, and really there's just so much moisture coming in through here that whatever lift we get, it just turns it right into precip, and it really just enhances that. And then once we get that little bit of lift, we get really the storm just starts cranking. Notice we just get loads of precipitation moving into the Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas area. This is a serious storm, guys. This is not a Alberta Clipper, Saskatchewan Screamer, Manitoba Mauler. This is a classic big panhandle low. It is, I would say, one of the biggest storms of the season, if not the biggest. And one of the hardest storms I've ever tracked. It's just so awfully, has so many sides to it. It has severe weather in the south, just loads and loads of rain across Ohio Valley. Get a load of this, 3 to 5 inches of rain across portions of Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky, and many more areas. That is ridiculous amounts, by the way, in case you did not know. There's gonna be ice, as the ice threat, again, where it falls is still yet to be determined, but it looks as if the ice threat is definitely there. Up to half an inch of ice, which would just be catastrophic, is possible. And then the snow, there will also be quite a bit of snow on the backside of this, up to 12-15 inches, not out of the question. So again, the timing and where this exactly falls is going to be really tough to see, and I guess at this point we still have to just wait for the weather models and see what's going to come. But notice this thing really just cranks up, and we see this absolute, just really heavy band of precipitation. This, wherever this sets up, is just gonna be absolutely swamped. This rain is ridiculously heavy for January. This is a system we would see typical of a different total season, spring, not even summer, as usually summer is too dry for these type of systems. The PWATs, the precipitable water in the atmosphere, is just going to be out of the charts. It's going to be record breaking for early January, and this storm just has everything on its side to be a giant storm. Notice that this precipitation does not really de-intensify. This thing keeps on plowing through with very heavy rain, severe weather to the south, where the instability is so great at this time of the year because of the warm conditions. This thing is just massively powered. It's running on like a supercharged battery, basically, if you want to picture it that way. This storm is a mega storm. Notice that we see loads and loads of ice possibly breaking across the Ohio, Michigan, Indiana area. This could be pretty crucial and deadly, as really this ice is probably more dangerous than everything. Maybe not the severe weather, but ice is just really dangerous. Snow, a little bit won't harm, even up to a foot. That's still tolerable. But the ice, if you get half an inch, that's a big oof. And notice that this thing really doesn't move a lot over the course of several extensive hours of 24 to 48 hours. You can see it stays in the same place. Then it really curls up into a low, which the European and GFS, get this, still completely disagree on this. The GFS brings heavier snow into the Illinois, Indiana, southern Michigan. I know that I have fans in southern Michigan. If you've been watching this and you're seeing this winter being a dud for you, as many people say, there will be quite a bit of snow for you out of the system, it seems, if the GFS is right. So is the Chicago area, Milwaukee area, maybe not seeing the most out of this scenario of the GFS. And yeah, quite frankly, it's really just determined on the model. If you live in Milwaukee and want snow, which I know I have a couple of fans from there, you'll want the European model to be right, as it puts a foot of snow out for you. Let's look at the GFS amounts. They're not nearly as high. They're maybe a couple of inches high for Milwaukee, and really high for the Detroit in northern Indiana and Chicago area. But for the Milwaukee area, it just really looks out of this model. And let me tell you that the precip amounts are just going to be absolutely ridiculous, getting up towards 5 to 6 inches, not out of the question, especially in those isolated areas where the thunderstorms occur. So this storm is a beast, and everything shows towards it. The precipitable water, if you were to look at that, let's look at that PWET norm anomaly, which basically shows you basically shows you how above average is the precipitable water. Notice that we get into those blue colorings during the winter time. Yeah, how do I say this? That doesn't really happen at all. Really, I rarely see such green colors, let alone blue, and you can see that just really intensifies across the northeast and possibly brings loads of sleet and rain across those locations as well. And that's all to do with the warmer temperatures. But again, when we get a little bit of cooler temperatures with that just leads to supercharged snowstorms. So that's what I kind of forecasted in my previous videos. I was warning you that we may be looking at the supercharged system as the pattern is so warm, and of course, the thing, it has congregated, and it looks as if it will be a really doozy of a storm. Let's look at the Canadian model, and again, this shows a very high precipitable water in the atmosphere. Let's look at the total accumulated precip. Generally, a similar track, just a little bit more widespread, not so concentrated, if you will, across a certain area. Still, though, amounts well into the 3 to 4 inch range across the Ohio and Kentucky Valley, really the Ohio Valley, and areas like Kentucky, Tennessee, and the Ozarks, really seeing quite a bit of rain out of this. Let's look at a total snowfall. You could see this one brings it up further towards areas like Milwaukee, but really just backs off on the snowfall totals way more than what the other models do. Really doesn't show that much snow for those areas. It shows snow for I guess northwest, the most northwestern model, if you will, shows a snow for a very northwestern areas compared to the other models, if that makes sense. And notice that it also shows many more storms coming afterwards, which all the models support. Let's now look at that quickly at the GFS. I want to show you, there you can see is another system possibly in the long range making its way, 983. Let's focus on this one first, and notice we get that first small system brings up the moisture, opens up the Gulf of Mexico to its full potential. Then it really brings down a little bit of chilly air, which could obviously play the role in the snow factor of this. Notice the European really brings this low pressure kind of in through Michigan, Indiana, and this is the track of the storm, which all matters. If this system really just brings it tracks a little bit further to the south and east, then Chicago will see snow. If it travels to the north and west, then areas like Milwaukee will see snow. So it's a battle of the models at this point. The European is an outlier, even it's in its own ensembles. Let's look at pivotal weather, and I want to show you this. Let's quickly look at this. If you were to look at the European high-res model on Pivotal Weather, it shows a lot of snow, a little bit more than what other models were showing, and across a quite different location than what the GFS is showing. Let's take it to like the 114 hour. Notice that it takes it across northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin would be seeing a load out of this, Green Bay as well, 9 to 10 inches, and this just really takes it to the far north and west. I mean, really far to the north and west. And I'm not too sure if I'm buying this. The European is an outlier in this scenario, and you can see it has quite a bit across Kansas and Missouri in terms of the snowfall, but I'm not sure if that's going to really occur, as this model is just so far to the northwest. It's not supported by its own ensembles. It may be right, but I'm leaning towards the GFS more right now. We'll have to see. Again, the details will get refined, but this may be right, but the track will probably still shift, even if the European has the right, I guess, characteristics of the storm. But notice you can see the drop-off across Chicago is really widespread. Southern suburbs, 1 inch, 2 inch. Northern suburbs, 6, 7, 8, 9. So definitely a big storm out of this. Notice the European doesn't put out much for southern Michigan, but it does for northern Michigan. And we'll just have to wait and see how this occurs and how this all plays out. As of now, it seems as if the GFS has a slightly better handle. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and let's just look at that 384-hour outlook for snow. You can see many more chances, plenty more chances, many more snow on the way, and it seems nowhere near slowing down. So thank you so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.